All right, well, good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Bishop. I'm the Associate Director of Information Services at the Institute of Child Nutrition, and ICN welcomes you to today's webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be available after today's live webinar. At the conclusion of each panelist's presentation, there will be a Q&A opportunity. Please use the Q&A feature located along the bottom of your Zoom view. Your chat is disabled for this webinar. You will see a pop-up at the conclusion of the webinar that will ask you to take a short survey. Your feedback is very valuable to us, and we would appreciate it if you would go ahead and answer those questions for us at the end of the webinar. You will also receive follow-up emails 24 hours after the conclusion of the webinar, and these emails contain the same survey link and a link to the recording of the webinar. You will receive a certificate via email within 24 hours of the webinar's conclusion. And with that, Janae, I will turn things over to you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the May School Nutrition Star webinar on strategies for school nutrition marketing success. I'm Janae Owens, an education and training specialist with the Institute of Child Nutrition, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. For those who are still coming in, I'll go ahead and kind of repeat some things that Jonathan just told everyone. So during today's webinar, all attendees are muted. There will be time for questions following each speaker's presentation. And if you have a question, please type it into the question box on your screen. We try to get to as many questions as possible, but due to our time constraints, we may not get to answer them all. So individuals who have registered for the webinar will receive an email at the conclusion, and the email contains the webinar recording link and a link to the evaluation survey. Please complete the evaluation survey, and the certificates will go out in 24 hours. ICN collaborates with USDA to host monthly School Nutrition Star webinars to provide attendees with training, real-life strategies of program implementation, and best practices for use in action plans and/or goals. Training topics, free resources, and educational materials are also highlighted to assist school nutrition professionals with navigating through the enhanced responsibilities of school nutrition operations. The Institute has created a website for all of these materials and resources specifically related to the webinars, and you can find this information on the website at theicn.org/STAR. The topic covered in today's webinar fall under the key area for communications and marketing and meet the USDA Professional Standards Code 4100 Communications and Marketing. So joining us on today's webinar, we have several panelists. First is John Sabias. He's proud to be a part of the Client Independent School District Nutrition and Food Services team. Previously, he worked as the IT supervisor and now oversees marketing and assists in developing and implementing the digital training library as the marketing and training specialist. With a communications degree from Pace University in New York City and a passion for fueling our future, he hopes to continue to spread the wonderful world of school nutrition in hopes of feeding more children healthy meals. John currently serves as membership chair for the Texas Association for School Nutrition. He enjoys spending his free time with his wife and their 2 children in the garden of exploring local restaurants. Also joining us are Karen Halford. She is a registered dietitian and the director of school nutrition for Gwinnett County Public Schools. Karen has been working in school nutrition the past 12 years, plus 5 years in clinical pediatric nutrition prior to that. She is also a mother of 2 boys, both of which eat school lunch every day. Also, we have Rachel Petralia, and she is the district executive chef and culinary coordinator for Gwinnett County Public Schools. Since 2009, she has worked for Gwinnett creating recipes and overseeing food safety for the district's 182,000 students. Rachel is a member of the CIA Healthy Kids Collaborative and the Georgia DOE Culinary Advisory Committee. Rachel earned her bachelor's in culinary arts from Johnson and Wales in Miami, Florida. Her passion for cooking has led to many career highlights, including traveling to South Africa, cooking at the James Beard House in New York, writing a cookbook, and being featured on the Today Show. She is also a mother of 2 boys, both of whom eat school lunch and breakfast in Gwinnett every day. Thank you so much for joining us for the panelists. And then we also have Brenda from the ICN staff team. She's a dietetic intern with ICN for the month of May, and she'll be giving out some announcement at the end of this webinar. So our learning objective for this webinar today is that attendees will identify strategies for school nutrition marketing plan success. And now I will turn the presentation over to Jonathan. I'm sorry, to John. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that, you guys. My mute button moved over a little bit. Can everybody see the screen? Maybe a little thumbs up to help me out. Awesome, perfect. Thank you, Janae. Hello, everyone. As food service professionals, we're all sharing the similar struggle when it comes to informing, educating, and involving families on the great things that we're doing in our district. So thank you to ICN for this opportunity. My name is John Ceballos, and I am the marketing and training specialist for Klein ISD. I started this role in June of 2020, or about 4 months into this crazy COVID pandemic that we're all still kind of dealing with. Before this role, I was the IT supervisor for our department. So while I'm not completely new to food services, I am new to this area of child nutrition. My goal for today is to offer you some tips on different marketing strategies that have been successful in our school district. This includes planning, finding content for your social media feeds, curbside meal marketing, as well as ideas that have helped us in promoting healthy and free, at least for now, meals to our client students and to our families. I'll make sure to leave some time for questions at the end of this presentation, but I'm also always available via email. My contact information is there on the screen, so please reach out if you have any questions that come to mind either now or at a later time. A little bit about our district. Klein ISD, we're a medium-sized suburban district just north of Houston, Texas. We have around 53,000 students enrolled around 50 campuses, currently of which are 80% on campus and 20% in our Klein Online remote learning program. We started this school year with about 50% on campus and 50% online, and since then have just grown to have, like I said, the 80% on campus. We operated under SSO and CACFP this year, and we'll be running under SSO next year as well, so families can benefit from the extended free meals. Since September 8th, we've served over 6.2 million meals, with our highest increase in breakfast participation reaching as high as 50% and 20% increase in our lunch participation since last year. So we're very proud of those numbers. And while those are our highest recorded increases, we do average about a 30% increase in breakfast and 20% at lunch. So we certainly attribute those waiver extensions to that increase, but we also know that the marketing has allowed us to reach more students and families that we hadn't been reaching in years past. In Klein ISD, our marketing plans always strive to accomplish one thing, and that's to feed more students and have fun in the process. I think that we all can sort of share that whenever that common goal. So let's jump right in. The first thing I suggest to anyone trying to plan anything is to include the right people from the beginning. I understand that this looks different for each district. I know that many districts don't have a dedicated marketing person, and their director, their menu planner, their accountant and cashier sometimes are all the same person. But when thinking about marketing and the effects that it can have on your department and the various areas, it's important to have those that need to be involved actually involved, and that can look a little different. Who are the right people? If the effects of the marketing or the promotions can impact their roles and the duties, those are the right people. The last thing you want to have is a really good idea, but no buy-in from the rest of the team, especially if it's after the fact. By including the right people, we're always able to be prepared for any possible obstacles, and we're able to create a better overall promotion and ultimately feed more students meals in the process. We created our promotions team that meet throughout the year to plan promotions for the upcoming months. Our team includes our mini planner, our field supervisor, which is basically over our zone manager. So they're able to communicate information to our zone managers to ensure that ultimately our kitchen staff is prepared for any upcoming promotions or any marketing that we're going to be doing. And then myself, the marketing specialist. Even though everyone has their respective areas, we're all giving insight on ideas and just throwing out things that we feel would help, again, grow that participation and do it in a fun way. This can be something such as a national promotion like National School Lunch Week and Breakfast Week. Read Across America is something that we did this year, or just something fun that you want to do in your kitchen. I know April Fools is always, something fun to do, and we can either serve green salad smoothies and turn out it's something that tastes a lot better than that, or a sour ice cream or something like that for April Fool's Day. Once you form your team, meet early and meet often. This allows for ample time for everyone to inform everyone that needs to know, and also allows for time to check in with your team. Another tip that I have is ask your managers that are in the kitchen, your kitchen staff, what promotions they'd like to see. They offer great ideas and are usually not able to be part of the promotions team because they're out there on those campuses and working to feed our students. But this gives them an opportunity to still be included in the planning phases early on, whenever the ideas are still fresh with everybody. They're also more invested in promotions when they're a part of that decision making. For example, in December, we hosted a Winter Wonderland decorating contest for our kitchens. This was their idea. They wanted to have some fun and decorate their kitchens, so they wanted to sort of make it a challenge. And we always up the stakes by offering something fun as a prize. So if the winning team, they won ice cream for their students, everybody that ate with us, and then the kitchen team got a small little party. So they were excited for that. Not only did it create a friendly competition amongst our kitchen staff, but it also helped with team building and team morale, which is always great. Let me show you a quick little clip of some of the decorations they did in one of our high schools. It doesn't have sound, but this is a Winter Wonderland decorating contest. Every campus participated, and the decorations ranged from, really out there like this. Some of them used recycled material. I thought that was really nice, where they got boxes and wrappers and sort of customized them to make decorations, whether it was snowflakes or, cars or reindeer, different things like that. But they did an excellent job with this promotion. Our students loved it. They had fun. We shared it on Facebook, and that's actually how we selected the winner, the one with the most likes. It allowed us to share and them to share the awesome things that they're doing. So just some ideas there. Tip number 2 will be use all of your resources and then their resources too. Time management can be difficult when you're trying to wear multiple hats, like we sort of talked about, if you're running multiple roles. So how can you save time, but also get more stuff done and reach a wider audience? Ask for help from your district's communications department. I always start with that. They have dedicated people to help with marketing plans and material to help you. Collaborating with your communications team can expand your reach and allow for additional communication channels that you may not have within your department. Our reach is currently around 1,200 followers spread across our social media platforms, which include Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our district has over 60,000. So simply asking them to share your post or tagging you in something as often as possible will help you reach that wider audience. So that's jumping from 1,200 people that you're able to connect with to as many as 60,000. That's a big increase. It's one of the most valuable resources that we have in our department. So why not use them if they're there? And then use their resources. They have access to resources such as School Messenger, different tools which allow us to reach every family directly via email, text, and even phone calls. For example, during our curbside feeding, we emailed families throughout school using School Messenger, providing them with the approved documentation that they needed the day before we served. This helped us save time during the pickup whenever families would come through, and it eliminating the stress for parents having to look for these documents at the curb. They were able to pull up the email and have this readily available. Some of our other resources are the free marketing toolkits provided by the different organizations out there. You know, I can think of Dairy Max, the Texas Department of Agriculture website, squaremills.org, of course, ICN, and there's tons of other ones. On each of these websites, you can find templates, free posters, signage, stickers. We know that kids love stickers, and just promotional marketing material that, again, is free, but can help you. So definitely utilize those. But again, don't stop there. Talk to those reps. You know, there's sometimes links on there for additional resources. If you talk to your reps, they can provide you with more information and, again, additional opportunities. By collaborating with Dairy Max, and their partnership with Fuel to Play 60, we were able to easily promote dairy at our curbside stations using hidden golden tickets in our meal kits. They found the golden ticket. Whoever found the golden ticket won some signed Texans gear that was provided to us by Fuel to Play 60, and we're pleased when our numbers increased during that promotion. So that was a successful resource to use. They also opened the door to grant opportunities with their partnership with No Kid Hungry. We applied for a grant and were granted $40,000 to help us grow our Klein to Go program, which is our curbside meals, that provided us with equipment and advertising to allow us to reach more people from that. So that was a great partnership opportunity there. Also, ask your team for help. They're a resource. Include them in your videos. Ask them for photos. Encourage them to spread the information that you need help spread. Let them know what you need, and you'd be surprised at what others can come up and help you with. If there's one thing that I've learned when working in food services is that there's many creative people out there, hidden talents. One thing I always like to show people that come to my office, I don't know if you can see in my camera, but it's a Bosco stick wrapper that they used and made a bow tie, and they decorated their kitchen with these Bosco stick wrappers. So I thought that was pretty cool. But again, they can do some amazing things. Give your team some creative freedom. Set whatever guidelines that you have as a department or as a district, whether that's no student faces in the photos, if you don't want to have to go through verifying that those students are clear to have their photos shared on our social media pages. If they need to have masks on, just whatever guidelines you want them to follow, tell them, and then give them some freedom. You may not use this content immediately, but you'll definitely have content in your bank that you can always post. And again, it doesn't always have to be food. It can be the genuine interactions that are happening there in the kitchen. They tend to be closer to our students. When we go in and we're like, just smile for a picture, they can definitely get more organic, heartfelt content. Just don't forget to thank them, give them credit for their content and their time. In our case, a large population of our audience on our social media platforms are our employees. So the targeted content to them is great to help boost morale. They see the things that they're doing. They love seeing their team members and themselves doing amazing things in their kitchen. I'll show you a video really quickly of some fun they have, that content they sent in.
1, 2, 3, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Let's see, I have one more I like to show.
1, 2, 3, happy birthday to you.
Sorry, y'all just saw that one. Let me get to the next one. There we go. Right, how it feels knowing you're about to eat a school lunch, a yummy school lunch. These were both sent in from kitchen staff, and it's great content. Who wouldn't love to see their child, being sung happy birthday to, or a student dancing while in our serving line? This helps. This builds loyalty and trust from our families, knowing that we're engaging and creating these memorable moments for our students. And it requires no special marketing. It's giving those kitchens freedom to show us the amazing things that they're doing. And remember, even if they can't create this content or send you content, they can help you share it. Once you put it on there, say, hey, do you mind liking us, sharing our information? So now on to marketing free meal. There we go. So after USDA extended the multiple waivers, allowing us to continue serving students for free next year, we're taking it as a great opportunity to introduce school meals to even more students. So how do you spread the word on those free meals? The first step is provide messaging in more ways than one. When we initially started our curbside meals, we started off with just an update on our website and a social media post on Twitter. That week, we served around 27,000 meals, which is still awesome and impressive. But following that, we asked to be included in our district, again, partnering with our communications team, in our district's weekly updates, an email that was sent to every Klein family, to have a button added to our district homepage that directed them directly to our food service page, providing them with more information. Then we created a Facebook page. As we noticed more parents were using this platform, we tend to see the educators and the admin staff on Twitter, but our families, our parents tend to use Facebook. Our students are on Instagram, TikTok. So be mindful of what audience you're trying to reach and sort of dictate what social media platforms you use with that in mind. With these actions in place, our serving numbers went up consistently for multiple weeks. We served as many as 58,000 meals in 1 week. So we were excited about that. So post it on your website, post it on social media, have your district share it and repost it, send home flyers. And this does not just have to be, again, about the meals. It can be about hiring. I know that sometimes finding, employees can be difficult. Sending them home with kids, putting them in your meal kit bags, it allows us to reach audience that, again, is not what we normally reach out to. Email, call, text your families if you can, and then definitely remind them. Listen, I'm a parent. I know how easy it is to forget about some things. I myself need reminders, and this just doesn't have to be about anything particular. It can be about anything, specifically the free meals. Remind them that they can eat free meals that year. And we started doing the weekly reminders for our curbside feedings, and again, our numbers stayed consistent, if not went up throughout the school year. So. Well, let's see. It's also important to show them what a free meal actually is. When we all know the perception of school lunch, and how do you change that? You got to show them what a school lunch is, and how it's made. It's probably not what they think it is. It's not those dirty sloppy joes anymore. I know some districts are doing some really great things with their menus. I've seen some beautiful menu items. Show them what we're feeding our children. We've also heard that school lunches are not enough food. So whenever you take pictures, show how much food can be included in their tray lunch, because that shows that they can get full off of a school meal. When doing our curbside meals, again, in our meal kits, there were 14 meals and a gallon of milk included. That's a lot of food. And sometimes we'd get over, oh my goodness, this is 4 gallons. So it was important to show families what that was, because 4 gallons of milk can take up a lot more space than people think, specifically if you have multiple children in your household. Here's some pictures where we showed families exactly what was included in our meal kits, what was included in the free meals that we were offering this year. They can see that it includes fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. They have various options, different entree options. And it's probably not what they expected to be free. There's also an example there of the weekly reminder that we would post on our social media pages. This was in addition to our weekly reminders that we sent out that included the documentation needed for the pickup. So speaking of photographing food, what are the best practices when showcasing our meals? I always start with show color. Always try for 3 or more colors on your plate in your photo. That makes it look appealing, and try to make it look real. Try not to cover it up with filters. A lot of times you see people use filters that can make the food not look real, and sometimes it seems like you're trying to hold something or make it appear different than it actually is. When there's more colors, the meal naturally looks more appealing and nutritious, because it's usually the fruit and the vegetables that are brightening up the photo. I mean, look at the salads there, the yellow corn, the different colors. It really helps the photo look good and pop. Lighting also helps create a more appealing photo. It makes it brighter, and it tends to show the detail better. Also show food from different grade levels. It gives younger students something to look forward to, and it also shows the variety of meals that we offer to our students, to our parents, so they know that they're getting multiple different menu items, whether in one day or throughout the week. Another photo tip that I have is that specifically iPhone users, check to see if you have portrait mode. This is usually for newer model iPhones, but it truly helps colors and people pop from the photos and gives a more professional look to your page. I'll show you here. There's 3 different photos using a standard mode there at the top, and then at the bottom, it's the portrait mode on the camera. So you can sort of see in the first one, ones that a distance. The other, you see the color, it pops a little bit more. The second photo, that salad really with the portrait mode is in focus there in the front. So you can clearly see what's on the tray. And then with the student, right now, with that first picture, it can tend to be a little busy in the background, but when you use that portrait mode, it sort of focuses on the student in the front and blurs out the background. So you can see what's on the student's tray. You can see her smiling face, and you can tell that she's excited to eat that school lunch. A quick personal story I have to share in regards to promoting school meals is I was driving my son to school one day and asking him what he was excited about for that school day. And he goes on to tell me about this special pink space milk that he gets to have at lunch, and how this week he gets to blast off with a healthy school lunch. I'm sure a lot of us already know where I'm going with this, but I knew exactly what he was talking about. But what did my 5-year-old son know about a healthy school lunch? I wanted all the details. Tell me. So of course I asked, what do you know about a school lunch? He goes on to tell me about white milk being healthier than chocolate milk, and how vegetables are good for energy and they provide different vitamins. So I was a proud parent, but more so I was in awe of how he got this, how he learned it, all of those awesome facts of, how did you hear this? And he said the morning announcements, something so simple, but clearly so effective, even for a 5-year-old. We often overthink how we can educate our children on the importance of a healthy meal, and it turns out that it's much easier than we think. That afternoon, I went back squaremeals.org and found a morning announcement script to use for National School Breakfast Week. I customized it to showcase our menu, and I'll show you this at one of our campuses.
A galactic breakfast, and the line is backed up to the library. Look at all these people going to breakfast. Woohoo! The best way to start a day, a healthy breakfast. Wow, this is awesome.
So we were very proud of that. We broke breakfast records that week at multiple campuses, and our participation numbers have stayed higher ever since. So we're very proud of that. We are going to use that in the future for more than just National School Breakfast Week and Lunch Week. Anytime we have a promotion, because again, we notice kids are listening to it. The last tip I want to leave with a
galactic breakfast.
Awesome. The last tip I want to leave everybody with is how to create and schedule marketing content, which can sometimes be the most stressful part of the plan. Canva.com has saved me hours and hours of time. They have thousands of pre-made templates, and it's my go-to place for social media posts, infographics, flyers, or really anything that requires a little bit of creative design work that not all of us have. I'm going to show you a few examples of some of the things that I've created using Canva. I'd say that easily 90% of my content is made using Canva. It's user-friendly. It can cut your design time in half. And if you know me, or you'll ask everybody if it's free, it's me. The free features are sufficient for me and probably most users. If you're looking for more, they do have a paid option that's pretty affordable. I believe they also offer an educator's discount. So that's something, if you're looking for additional resources, you can look into canva.com. Again, you can schedule your post directly from there, so you're not having to go to the different social media sites. You can post to Facebook there, to Twitter, directly from one place. So once you design it, you schedule it and post it, and you are good to go. So I hope that some of you are leaving with something to think about the next time you plan a promotion, you market your school meals, or even design your next graphic. I'm going to take a few minutes to answer any questions that you may have. My email is listed below. If you need anything, please definitely email me, whether you think about it now or later. And I always ask for a follow on our social media pages, because I love showing the amazing work that we do, that our team does here in Klein ISD. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to any questions. Let me pull up the Q&A here. Okay, so I see a question here from Clay. Let's see. How would you use marketing to reach out to households that feel that free meals are a stigma and are reluctant to participate? Great question. So if they are reluctant to participate, or they feel the stigma, there's other reasons reasons that people could participate in school lunch. One, saves time. A parent's not having to prepare the meal there at home every night. You know, we have a lot of the options that their parents are sending into to school for lunch for their students. A lot of times we see Lunchables. So we actually created, you know, our own version of a Lunchable that includes crackers and turkey and cheese. So find what they're doing and take that stigma away. You know, right now everybody can eat. So stress, this is for everyone, regardless of income. So that was a great question. I do see here, Allison said, Canva is free for educators. So there you go. Why not use, you know, that upgraded premium version if you can do it for free? Do you think this will all go away when we have universal free feeding for all? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by what if something will go away, but that really just depends on how you market it. I mean, there's lots. Find what your community, find what your people are wanting, and see how you can, you know, provide that. One of the things that we do in our district is we ask feedback from our families, from our students constantly, whether it's about our curbside meals, you know, what schedule works for you, what locations are you wanting to pick up from, what kind of menu items do you want to see. All of those things are stuff that we can take into mind whenever we're planning, whenever we're choosing our menus. I know that one of our number one factors in choosing menu items are student feedback. So let them know these are, you know, if your items are chosen by your students, let your parents know, you know, our students here helped us pick these menu items. So we know that they enjoy the way they taste. We know that they're healthy because they meet a lot of the restrictions and guidelines that we have in place. So let them know that, again, at the end of the day, we want to provide our students with healthy meals. And as long as we're doing that, I think that we can find a way to win them over. Do you provide staff with a budget to purchase items? Did we provide staff with budget to purchase items for the Winter Wonderland decorating contest? So great question. We actually did not. One of the requirements for that was specifically to not spend any money. So they were allowed to bring stuff from their house if they had material at their house, or they had to use recycled materials. I sort of talked about how some of them used cardboard boxes. A lot of them got paper from their campus's resource room. So it's a lot of material there available to them, and that's part of the fun. You know, the last thing you want them to do is have to spend their own funds to have a fun promotion. What formats do you use to get feedback? Surveys, listening sessions, tastings. So our taste testings are done at the various campuses. We have taste testings for elementary students. We have taste testings for our intermediate students, all the way up to high school. So we do get feedback from all of those students. And then we also do, for parents, we do Google Forms, Google surveys that we send out. And again, sometimes it will be a text message. If it's something that we need pretty soon, we'll partner with our communications team and say, hey, is this something that you'd allow us to send out so we can get that feedback, especially if we need it in a timely manner. What would you suggest for targeting high schools specifically? This is our weakest participation group. So one thing that we've noticed is that our high school students like promotions more than they admit to. A lot of times we do our promotions at our elementary schools, and constantly we post it on Instagram. And while we post the promotions from our elementaries on our Instagram, it's usually the older students that are in high school and intermediate school that are on Instagram. So they want to know, why are we not included? We want to be included. Use that engagement to ask them what they want. What do they want to see? And then show them that we're doing it. So if you had a suggestion and you've made a change specifically from that suggestion, show them that their feedback is important. Where did you get prizes for promotions? So specifically for that Dairy Max promotion that we did, their partnership with Fuel to Play 60 allotted us a good amount of signed Texans gear. So again, partnering with some of your vendors, partnering with, I think a lot of times we receive stuff here as part of tasting and stuff like that. So use those as promotional items, or other times it can be as simple as an extra snack. I do see that my time is up, so I thank you all for watching this today. Again, my email address is there. If you have any questions, email me. Follow us on our social media channels. That's going to be Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And thank you all. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Karen.
Okay. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Today, Chef Rachel and I are going to share our experience with creating a strategic marketing plan for social media. But first, just a little bit about our district. We're with Gwinnett County Public Schools, which is in Georgia. We're the 12th largest district in the US and the largest in the state. We have around 180 or just over 180,000 students, and we have 135 school cafes with full production kitchens. So just like all of you, we've always marketed our program. But over the past 14 years that I've been in school nutrition, it's changed just a bit. For us in 2016, we were able to finally take a large step and officially brand our program with a logo and a tagline that you see here. That was super exciting and just the beginning of our marketing journey. So now fast forward to 2 years ago in 2019 when we launched our social media accounts. Now we know we were a little bit late to the game on that one, but for us, it was all about timing. In the spring of 2019, we felt super prepared for social media and we had our plan in place. We launched at Cafe Gwinnett on Instagram and Facebook. From the beginning, we had very different plans for the two platforms. So Facebook is for our parents in our community and Instagram is for our students. It's important for us that the two accounts are not linked. And I know it seems easy to link those accounts and probably feels more efficient at times, but the audiences are just too different. We sometimes post similar content to both sites, but the verbiage is rarely the same. So this is an example of a strawberry post where we were highlighting our locally grown Georgia strawberries. On the left, you see Instagram, and on the right is Facebook. The Instagram post is lighter and more fun, whereas the Facebook post feels a little more formal and gives a little bit of data that we thought that audience would find interesting. Before you post, you'll want to think through the type of post that you're after. So you could do an image, you could do a video, and either one could be with or without music. So as far as content goes, we think of ours in terms of buckets. So we have one bucket for sort of facts and or data. We have another one for more general information. And then we have one that's just straight up fun. So but based on what you're posting, we then decide where to post it, Instagram or Facebook, or perhaps both, but with a very different spin for each. For us, engaging our students is very important. It helps build trust with them that then we see translates down to their own school cafe. Our goal is to have quality posts that are engaging. So early on, we met with a group of student leaders at one of our high schools to get some feedback on our Instagram account specifically. We wanted to know what they thought, were they following us, and any ideas that they had for our post. That meeting was super enlightening and they were great. They had thoughts and ideas that we just would have never thought of on our own. They wanted to see new menu items for sure. If we're putting something new on the menu, they want to see it. They wanted how-to videos. So they said that they wanted to learn something. So we found that interesting. They wanted to see faces for sure. They want to see their school nutrition employees. They find that interesting. They want to know who's behind the scenes making their food every day. They also encouraged us to be a bit spontaneous and not to overthink our post. And this one was a hard one for us because we like to plan everything out. But we really took that to mean that they like a page that feels authentic. So I think that the overarching message from this group of kids was to really make sure that you mix it up. It can't be all of one thing or it gets boring. So just a few quick tips, just a few things that I do to simplify the process and make it a little bit easier on myself. So you can absolutely write your post ahead of time. I like to use the Notes app on my phone, perhaps the night before, and the next morning I want to make that post. I write that post, save it in the Notes app, and then I just copy and paste it into Instagram or to Facebook when I'm ready. Also have standard hashtags ready to go. Again, you can have those written in the Notes app and then copy and paste right in there so you don't have to write those every single time. And then speaking of hashtags, these are super important. They make your content more discoverable and they help you gain new followers. Anytime someone searches a hashtag that you've used, your post theoretically comes up. Hashtags that have been used millions of times, and you'll see that when you go to add one, are not likely going to do you any good because your post is going to be lost in a sea of other posts. So we'd rather use those that are a little less popular. And then we have our standard hashtags that we consistently use with every post. And those are for sure hashtag Cafe Gwinnett. We love to do hashtag only in Gwinnett, and we do a good bit hashtag we love our students. The consensus, if you're interested, by social media experts is that around 11 hashtags is a good number to have. So you'll just want to create those and have them ready to go so it's easy to add them to your post. It's all about the photo. So you for sure need good photos. And your cell phone is perfect. So you don't need anything outside of that. They have great cameras these days. We're big fans of the iPhone, and John talked about iPhone portrait mode as well. But that iPhone portrait mode, and Rachel and I both have iPhones 11, so I'm not sure when that came on, but it's amazing, and there's different lighting options that you can use. So you can check that out, or if you have an iPhone, start using that. Don't get too close. So when you get too close to a food, sometimes you can't tell exactly what it is. So we find that we see pictures sometimes where they've just gotten a little too close and now it looks a bit weird. So just be mindful of that. Volume is impressive, and we have lots of volume in school nutrition. So it's great to show, the hundreds and hundreds of something that your teams are producing. Always impressive. Packaging matters. So really clue into what the food is in and what's in the background and what's happening around the photo before you're posting those. And then I think it's super important that you're just authentic. So you wouldn't want anything to hit one of your social media pages that they're not actually going to see in one of their school cafes. So just make sure that you're being authentic with your post. So now I'll turn it over to Chef Rachel so she can walk you through what all of this can look like.
Hi, thanks. So to start, it's important to make sure no one is going to be blindsided by the fact that you're going to start sharing photos of entrees, production, packaging, etc. This will ensure everyone is set up for success. The last thing that you're going to want is to show a beautiful photo of a gorgeous entree that many are not seeing or getting when they're dining in your kitchens. The food should look and taste really great. These beautiful quote unquote beauty shots should be accurate. So communication with your kitchen teams is going to be very important. You need to be very transparent. If you need to start by having conversations about production, assembly, packaging, garnishing, etc., all your expectations, then do that. Go over your procedures and standards. It's not a bad thing. It's a good training. And if needed, that should be the first step. Details matter. I say it a million times to the managers. It's just something that we say in our district. You know that marketing is important and you are building loyalty in a brand. Just like your menu and ingredients should feel cohesive and be of the highest quality, so should your social media photos. Karen and I are the people behind the photos and the pictures. We know the angles, lighting, that it cannot be blurry, and that a filter can make colors grab your attention. For example, look at the photos that we have displayed. These are both great pictures. But in a sea of millions and millions of posts and photos, brightening your pictures can make a difference. Both photos are accurate and show Georgia-grown strawberries being served in our schools. However, the photo to the right is brighter. Companies like Apple and Instagram create filters because they know they're important, so use them. This is an example of one of the easiest photos to get. Students are great. Most love to have their photos taken and see themselves featured in a post. This also really helps us gain engagement and followers from our students. They like to check out our page to see what students are on it and what they're doing. Not to mention, they are super creative. You get content and pictures you're just not going to think of. Our students are just fun and they add to the feel and energy of our social media. They set a very positive vibe, and that's important. Make sure that your photos and pictures are not just one note. If they all look the same, even if the food item or team members are different, you will lose engagement. People, both students and adults, will begin to lose interest, stop reading the post, and really looking at the photos. Just like food trends, you have to keep changing and evolving. You can't just sit on your success. As Karen said, our students are the focus of our Cafe Gwinnett Instagram page. How-to videos, pictures with recipes, a twist on student favorites, foods trending on TikTok, new menu items at quick serve restaurants, fast casual places. These all make for great posts that our students really love. Gain excitement by teasing what's coming. This is the Taco Joe. It could easily be missed or just land on the menu if we just added it or rolled it out. Instead, we took photos, we posted about it several times. We let students know this is special, it's delicious, it's spiced really well, it's made carefully, it's gooey, and you don't want to miss trying it. This item hit the menus and was at the top of popularity, partly because we had built up the anticipation of it. Now let's talk a minute about volume. All school nutrition programs are executing impressive amounts of food every day. Share that. Look at this picture. This is an example of sheer volume and just how many of something our teams are producing. This is a picture of 1,200 made from scratch Earth Day brownies served at one of our high schools on Earth Day with a gummy worm on top of every single one of them. Of course, the numbers are attention grabbing. However, seeing these homemade treats lined up adds content and it's cool to look at. Our volume pictures always tend to do really well. So finally, utilize your teams. Collaboration is always best. Take skills from different people and put them together. Follow other accounts. This is really important. Captions, hashtags, ideas. We follow so many innovative and interesting food blogs, restaurants, chefs, brands. They provide inspiration, influence. They spark our minds and creativity, and that's a must. Please note that less is more. It's also very important. Your post should be simple. It's not that serious. Don't use all your words. If it's paragraphs, it's too long. So short, simple, and easy really is king. Like Karen said, use your hashtags to add other details. Posts that are too long is as bad as being one note. People get bored and you lose engagement. So just try things out, see what works, what kind of posts get the most interaction, and keep building from there. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have just a few minutes. This is Karen again and Chef Rachel. So we'll look to see if we have any questions from any of you guys. And one of the first ones that popped up was how often do we post? And I think that just, I'll take that one, Chef Rachel. That just depends. Sometimes we have lots going on in a week, or we may be doing a giveaway or a contest with our students on Instagram. And so we're posting every single morning and then following up in the afternoon. And then other times when there's not much going on, you know, it may be once a week. So I think it's okay to ebb and flow, and it just depends on when you have some really great content. What are some of your favorite accounts to follow? I'll let Chef Rachel go with that one.
Yeah, I definitely have opinions on that. And some of it's going to be just kind of your personality, because you also want the personality of your program to shine through. But for me, Half Baked Harvest, she's a must follow. And her verbiage is really cute. I like that. Her ideas are really neat. I do look on Food 52. I think that they are cool and innovative and kind of neat. I follow Thomas Keller because he has a level of culinary expertise and refinement. Karen and I will also follow some hashtags like Atlanta Eats. So, kind of looking at your city and saying, because like Atlanta Eats is going to throw in people who are just out in our area having food and things that they find interesting. And a lot of times that'll translate down to the menu and the inspiration of that. People who are funny, Milk Bar, you've got to follow Milk Bar. She's hilarious. Her hashtags, her videos, her style, she just has fun with food. So she needs to be followed. Yeah.
Next question, how do you get your staff motivated to send pictures if you have other district responsibilities? I'll take that one, Chef Rachel. We have a really great team in the schools and they love to show off their programs, which I'm sure all of your team members do as well. So it's actually quite easy. So we tell them if they're doing something really cool or they're super proud of their line one day to text us pictures, email us pictures. And now not all of them are fantastic. And if they're not, post worthy, then we don't post them, or we'll send them out, in an email to the rest of the team. So again, just make sure that you're still being critical of those pictures, that they're clear, that they're pretty, there's not too much stuff happening in the background. But our team loves sending pictures in, and they absolutely love when we use one of them and we give them a shout out in the post. Chef Rachel, I'll turn this one over to you. How often do you change the menu with new food?
We have a base menu that tends to never change. I think that that's important because just like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, whoever is not going to be changing their chicken sandwich or chicken nugget, things like that every year. We have standards and basics that will always be on our menu. And then it opens up areas for things that are seasonal, things that can be limited time options, things that can be exciting. And then that's always changing. We find a lot more success in not doing a fall menu and then a spring menu, and they're having to learn 5 or 6 new concepts at once. Rather than that, we usually end the year on a menu. We start the year on that same menu. So they come back, set up for success. They know what they're going to do. And then within the first couple of weeks, we're starting to trickle out new ideas, new ingredients. And so it's really fluid. And that way we can also, every time we meet with them, just say, okay, here's going to be a new concept. It'll go in the next time you see the cycle plan, you'll see it. And it keeps the students really excited and wanting to come up to the lines to see what's new.
I'll take this one, Chef Rachel, but it says, how far do you plan out special events or treats like our Earth Day brownies? And Chef Rachel, certainly chime in. But we're such a large district and we have really big schools with thousands of students. So we have to plan those out in advance. For one, our distributor has to have the amount of product that we're going to need in order to execute whatever it is that we're planning. Especially if it's something that we're doing district-wide, it's months in advance. On occasion, Chef Rachel can pull off a chef experience, maybe at one school, but again, that's thousands of servings, like the Earth Day brownies, the picture that you saw, Chef Rachel actually executed those at one of our high schools. So she can pull that off a little bit quicker, but just because we're so big, it takes at least a couple of months to make sure that we have the ingredients. Chef Rachel, who was the first Facebook page that you mentioned?
Half Baked Harvest. You should follow her. And she has her finger on the pulse of kids. So the things she's creating, and you can do anything in school nutrition. So the things that she's creating, just K-12 them a bit and roll them out.
Let's see, what types of items are you giving away and how are those being purchased or donated? We use Cool School Cafe points like nobody's business. So I'm constantly on that webpage and purchasing things for our students, but we're able, and then if they don't have what you're looking for, you can create your own reward. So you just email them and 9 times out of 10, they can get what you want. But we've done Apple Watches and iPads and Beat Solo, earphones. What else have we done, Rachel?
We've given away food giveaways
Yep.
also, almost like a food experience. So we've done, you know, wings, like they love wings. So then it's kind of a, you know, huge, you're going to get a huge platter of wings. We will make any sauce you want. We will customize them any way you want. You can invite 6 friends with you. We will have a table at whatever high school you're at where you get to have your own cool lunch. I do love the milk bar, and she's really funny and clever. So I recreated her cakes a couple of times and we gave those away. Really anything, you know, that's just fun and neat.
What sort of challenges do you do with your students? First and foremost, if you guys want to go check out our page on Instagram and Facebook at Cafe Gwinnett, and you can scroll through and see, but we did our most fun challenge, I think, was they had to do the Renegade TikTok dance. And the amount of interaction we got with our students and entries into that giveaway was really fun and amazing. But they recreated that dance. But we'll just do silly things like Miss Gwinnett, who you saw in our presentation. We had them print her out, put her on a popsicle stick, and they had to go all over town and in their schools, taking pictures, doing things with Miss Gwinnett. And then we would just sort of pick the funniest or the cutest or whatever it was we were looking for, prize for the day. And then many times I'll just grab everyone who entered the contest, throw it into a random name generator on the internet, and a name will pop up, and that's the person who wins. But if you go to our page, you'll see all the things that we've done over the past couple of years. Let me check our time and just do a couple more here. Let's see here. How do you deal with negative comments? Do you respond to each question? And do you have a designated person handling the social media accounts? We do have a designated person handling the social media accounts, and that's just from an accountability standpoint. So I can post and respond to students, and then our executive director can do the same. But that doesn't mean that I'm doing it all by myself, because I never could. So other team members, Chef Rachel for one, and then we have a dietitian, Taylor Blake, who helps with content and helps me maybe craft a response depending on what the question was. But we try to respond to every single question and, at least like the comments that are coming through. And, sometimes you respond to a negative comment if it makes sense to, and you have a response, and then sometimes you just kind of let it go. And on the rare occasion we've had to hide a comment. That hasn't happened often because they're using profanity or just something really ugly, but we just hide those and move on. So that's how we handle those situations. And I'll just pick out one more here. Let's see here. Chef Rachel, I'll let you take this one and then we'll wrap. How do you create posts that resonate across large, diverse districts such as ours?
Well, we definitely find that everybody loves food. Everybody loves an experience. If you go to Instagram or TikTok, it's the same way they're doing it. You find things that you're passionate about, that you think are interesting, that you think are fun, and just start sharing and putting it out there, because we're never going to get students from every single school in the district. However, kids like to look at other kids and other students and see what they're doing. And people like to see, neat food or things that are flavorful or a challenge or to win a prize. And so really a bit of that is don't overthink it. Kind of have that confidence in yourself and your program to say, we've got some really cool things that we need to share. And you might find that they may not realize that it's things that they're interested about until they start following your page and getting to know you. You're also building that relationship with them. We try to be very genuine in who we are. So when you go to Cafe Gwinnett Instagram or, like our Facebook page, it's going to feel a bit, like us, like Karen and I, that nutrition team, because you want to have that, relationship. Students want that. They want to feel that, the person behind that screen is going to answer their questions, which they do, and that we are authentic.
And I'm just going to take one more, and then Janae, I will turn it over to Brenda. But the question was, when did you do your first giveaway? Did you get lots of participation? And if you're just starting out, not many followers on Instagram. So if you look back at our presentation, one of the first things we did when we started our Instagram account was we offered them a Rice Krispie treat, one of those little mini Rice Krispie treats, if they came to the cashier and showed on their phone that they were following us on Instagram. So that was one of the simplest, most basic things we did. And then we got some giveaways, and we started out a couple of school years ago with 20 days of giveaways in the month of August. So of course students love to get some sort of prize, especially when it's something really cool like an Apple Watch or an iPad or, you know, headphones or whatever it may be. So that for sure drove participation and engagement from the get-go. But then we were able to hold on to them. So then we started showing pictures of food and doing chef experiences and things like that. So I think you have to start somewhere and not worry about it. And, you know, get out in the school and talk to kids, and they join and they tell their friends, and it just sort of takes off from there. So I will end the Q&A and turn the presentation over to Brenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. So before we conclude today's seminar or webinar, I would just like to share a couple of announcements. I just want to remind everyone about the new transition of the ICN's eLearning portal to the iLearn Anytime, Anywhere. The iLearn provides self-paced free online learning for child nutrition professionals. It's super flexible, and right now the iLearn also offers ICN's first Spanish online course in Nutrition 101. Super exciting. So all the new iLearn at ICN mobile app is available for download at the Apple App Store and Google Play as well. Our next announcement, just want to remind you as well to use the Child Nutrition Recipe Box as your resource for USDA standardized recipes for child nutrition programs. The Child Nutrition Recipe Box provides program operators with recipes to prepare healthy and delicious meals that meet meal pattern requirements. And these recipes are standardized to provide meal pattern crediting information for all meal pattern components. And so we would just like to encourage everyone to please check out those recipes for school and CACFP. Our next announcement, the Child Nutrition Sharing Site is an online information center providing child nutrition programs with the means for sharing effective resources related to program operations. So this is a really great collaboration between ICN and USDA to give child nutrition professionals access to resources that support current federal regulation, policies, and guidance. And so if you go online to www.theicn.org/CNSS and click the Submit Resource tab, we ask that you provide one resource per submission, but you can upload as many as you'd like. It's unlimited. And our last announcement is that we really encourage you to sign up for the upcoming Culinary Institute of Child Nutrition webinar by visiting the icn.org/CICN. And the topic is super interesting, especially right now. The topic area is post-pandemic school meal merchandising, adapting for a new era in the in-school dining. And that will be June 3rd at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll turn it over to Janae.
Thanks so much, Brenda. So as a final reminder, this webinar has been recorded and can be viewed on the ICN website at theicn.org/star. The webinar certificates will go out in the next 24 hours, and please complete the evaluation survey for this webinar, as ICN appreciates your feedback. In closing, thank you so much to our panelists. Your presentations were so awesome, and thanks to all the attendees for joining us. Have a great day.